and Mike T and D Wood are here. We'll have college conversation as well. And a reminder, a week from today, we will be reacting to the first preseason game of the year. So football is back. 32 teams are in training camp, so let's go camping. We head back to Oxnard, California to begin. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys continuing to work. As is every year, Dallas enters the season with high expectations despite missing the playoffs last year. And speaking with reporters yesterday, listen to Dak talking about his motivation and what he wants to accomplish in 2025.
Yeah, having fun and winning the Super Bowl, period. Period. It's what I want. It's what I want from this game, and I know it's what everyone wants in this locker room. If anybody in that locker room don't believe it, then I ask them to get out. And Shotty said it day one we showed up. If you don't want to win a Super Bowl or don't think we can win a Super Bowl, then then don't come to Oxnard, and you're in the wrong place. I want that first and foremost now, and that is the urgency that I carry with just the love and the passion of this game is not only wanting to win for myself, but one win for this organization. It's been, well, damn long enough.
That's what we're talking about. Dak Prescott fired up. We've got urgency. We're talking Super Bowl. D. Wood, what do you think?
Can we just win a playoff game?
A playoff game.
Can we just do it? Listen, it's actually like out of character for Dak to be, making those proclamations or speaking like that. But listen, everyone wants to win a Super Bowl. Like, that's the ultimate goal for all these guys out there, especially in training camp. But I just need Dak Prescott, please just win a playoff game. Can we win a playoff game? Can we do something of that nature first before we get into all the Super Bowl talk and all those type of things? I get it. New head coach, new feel with the Dallas Cowboys. Your owners talking nonsense out here with the contract for Michael Parsons. But let's just win a playoff game.
So I can now offer you proof of the expression, great minds think alike. Because Mike Tannenbaum and I had exactly the same reaction when we heard that Dak Prescott soundbite. What was it?
He said exactly what he should be saying as the leader of the franchise, and that's why, Greeny, he's so well respected by ownership and his players and the coaches. That's what you want your battlefield commander to be saying. Like, that is the standard, and that is why Dak Prescott is the right guy for this situation, because you have an owner that, for whatever reason, at this point in his life, Greeny, says the wrong thing, and he inflames the situation.
That's the point I'm making, is that what we just heard from Dak Prescott, that's what we should be hearing from Jerry Jones to open up. No, listen, who am I to tell Mr. Jones what he should be doing with his team? But I'm doing it anyway. That's what he should be. He should be sitting up there saying, we got a good team. We do. And we got a chance to win. And we're here to win the Super Bowl. And anyone who doesn't think we can win the Super Bowl can get out. Instead, he's sitting up there talking about the possibility of his best player getting hit by a bus. That's a literal quote. And so that's what I mean. That's why that was so frustrating. And this is so much better. I want my quarterback sitting up there saying, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. That's the urgency. And if you don't believe it, get out.
Well, it's finally you have a Dak Prescott that said, you know what, I'm not going to be corporate, Dak. Damn it, I'm going to say how I feel and what we should be doing. And it's great that your leader of the organization, the guy who's at the quarterback position, is actually saying these things. Now all you have to do is go out and do it. And for Dak Prescott, you need to be the reason why you actually are able to do it and not the reason why you lose.
Look, that's fair. But whether or not he has always... How much of the culpability for their lack of postseason success you want to put on him is a fair conversation, but a different one.
Right.
On July 24th, which is what it was when he was saying those things, that's what you want the leader of your team saying, right? You said it a moment ago, and you're right. Every team feels that way, but that's leadership. That's what you want. That's the rope you want everyone tugging on in the same direction.
Yeah, I think, listen, to the point that you guys are making is that we want the focus to be on football and having one voice talking about that. When you having, the owner saying one thing and Brian Schottenheimer and Dak, I think they're just trying to refocus everybody on what's really important right now. It's not contracts, it's not any of that. It's about focusing on football and how we prepare this journey.
Well, you guys both worked with Brian Schottenheimer with the Jets. Yeah. Pardon me, you played for him. You were the GM when he was the offensive coordinator. He's that kind of guy, right? And he's somewhat accustomed you made a good point this morning, to having someone that he's working for who likes to say a lot of things.
Are you referring to a bellicose Rex Ryan?
Yes, there is no other kind of Rex Ryan.
But look, if we do the autopsy of how he got hired, clearly when Brian Schottenheimer was hired by Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott felt good about it. They are very like-minded, as D-Wood knows as well. Brian is very much more of a Jason Garrett type. Keep the ball in the fairway, not going to inflame anything. And that's a great compliment to what you have in the ownership. So to me, yes, the success we had in New York with Mark Sanchez, Rex Ryan, Brian Schottenheimer is well qualified for the situation.
So, Harry, let's finish this part of the conversation by doing the mathematical equation that is on our screen. Brian Schottenheimer, his offense, plus these Cowboys, this collection of talent, equals what?
Number one, I would say a balanced attack, and that's what you got to have in today's football. Also, you look at a lot more movement pre-snap, giving the defense something else to think about before the ball is actually snapped, a little eye candy, which gives you advantages on the offensive side of the football, and also emphasizing the line of scrimmage. That's where the game is won, whether it's offense or defense, but offensively right now, emphasizing the line of scrimmage and how important it is for this team.
High-profile, glamour team thinking big-time thoughts. Those are the Dallas Cowboys. They are also the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are in camp right now with their new quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Fans lining up outside of Steelers training camp yesterday to get a glimpse of Aaron in black and gold. And there he was, and he was flinging it around the yard yesterday. I was eagerly following Brooke Pryor's videos that she was posting yesterday. After practice, Rodgers was asked about the general manager Omar Khan's comments that the Steelers are built to win a Super Bowl, and here's what he said.
I think most of the 32 teams would probably say something to that accord at this time of the year. But I think that there's really only 6 to 8 that really have a legitimate chance. Sometimes it's 10 to 12, and there's teams that surprise you. But I would say on paper we're probably one of those 10 to 12.
You go into the season thinking like this might be the last ride, or do you sort of just is that a decision you'll make maybe at the end of the process?
Yeah, I might go into the season like that. Might not.
Okay, so Aaron's in mid-season form with giving you something to chew on with regard to whether, but I don't think that's the topic here. The topic is a very un-Steeler-like. You weren't with us yesterday, Mike T. We touched on this. The Steelers have had a very un-Steeler-like offseason. You worked against them for all those seasons, if that's the right way to put it and all that. They have always been keep the ball in the fairway, don't do anything crazy. They don't sign free agents. They don't play in that place. They don't fire coaches. Well, in this case, they sign Aaron Rodgers. They make the big trade for DK Metcalf. They make the commitment at the end here to TJ Watt to make sure they're ready. A few other moves around the edges. They have pushed all their chips to the middle of the table. They're acting like a win-now team.
Yeah, and it's not going to be good enough, in my opinion. And Greeny, you were at the draft covering it. The inflection point was the first round. They drafted a really good player, Derek Harmon, but they announced to the world, we're going to be all in on Aaron Rodgers. And I think best case scenario, guys, they are the third best team in their division. They're not going to be better than the Ravens. And even without Trey Hendrickson, Cincinnati is going to score. We talked about this last week, Greeny. In the history of our game, in the history of the entire sport, throwing out Tom Brady, Drew Brees had one game at 42 years old in the playoffs. So when you think about what Aaron Rodgers is trying to accomplish, it's truly historic. And if we're being honest and sober about his evaluation, it's been 3 years since we've seen a top-level Aaron Rodgers. Not saying it's impossible, but that's the information we have to make an analysis.
I haven't done this show sober in years, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. More to the point, though, D-Wood, yes, it's Brady and it's Brees, and they're the only guys who've done it. The only thing I'll say, and so does that mean the odds are against him? Obviously they are. But it also makes me think he fits in that category, right? These are all-time greats. These are first-ballot Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
These are two of the greatest quarterbacks that ever lived. Well, Rodgers checks all of those boxes as well. So if anyone is going to do it, it's not unrealistic to me to think that he might be a guy who could do it.
Yeah, listen, I found it interesting what Aaron Rodgers said. He said that 6 to 8 teams are legitimate contenders. Then there's the 10 to 12, and he put the Steelers in that 10 to 12 category. But, for me, when I look at Aaron Rodgers, the last time Aaron Rodgers was, quote-unquote, Aaron Rodgers was in 2021. Think about that. We're in 2025 right now. That's a long time. That's 4 years ago. That's a long time where we've seen peak Aaron Rodgers. And for me, when I look at this Pittsburgh Steelers team, there's a lot of factors that have to go in their favor in order for the Pittsburgh Steelers to be one of those teams. Primarily, That offensive line. I go back to that offensive line. Aaron Rodgers gonna be 42 years old. You gotta he needs the running game and the protection in order to get the most out of him at the quarterback position.
Okay. I'm about to make excuses for Aaron Rodgers. Let me be clear. He's no longer the quarterback of the Jets. So I have no vested interest in this one way or the other. He's someone I barely know. I've met him like twice. So I'm not his PR representative. You talk about the 3 seasons that have taken place since he was last Aaron Rodgers. Fair enough. In one of them, he got hurt on the 4th play of the season and did not play again. Let's just throw that out. So now we're talking about 2 seasons. Last year, it was his first year back from the Achilles, and the Jets were a freaking disaster internally, right? And you cannot be a bigger mess than that team was. I'm not saying he played great, but I think there were reasons why it happened. The last year in Green Bay, he didn't play great. I will forever believe that he hurt his thumb, maybe even broke his thumb in that game against the Giants and wasn't the same. What I'm trying to say is that while I don't know that he will be the MVP caliber Aaron Rodgers that he was, I think there is still reason to believe he will play well above average NFL quarterback. And for that team, that might be enough.
That's why I believe in the Pittsburgh Steelers this season and also Aaron Rodgers being their quarterback. Like, you're talking about a guy who is still a natural thrower of the football. He's better than anyone that the Pittsburgh Steelers has had since post-Ben Roethlisberger. So they've made the playoffs multiple times. They don't have a playoff win, but you can't tell me that Aaron Rodgers with that defense and if that offensive line, Woody, like you mentioned, is playing better and that run game is thriving, can't get them a playoff win. And we all know if you get into the dance, you have a chance. Anything can happen in the second round. TJ Watt is capable of winning you a game or 2. Your defense.
All I'm going to say is, and Mike T touched upon it, we're asking a soon-to-be 42-year-old quarterback to elevate a team to what we call quote-unquote Super Bowl contender. It is rare. It's like something that we just haven't seen outside of Tom Brady. We haven't seen that.
And one other thing, juxtaposed to what Harry said, the AFC is loaded. So he could still be good, but he's not great compared to all these other quarterbacks.
Yeah. The question is, how good is this team around him? How good is the coach?
You don't have to be great all the time. Because if your opponent makes a mistake, like we've seen some of the elite quarterbacks do when they're playing other elite quarterbacks, then you may have an advantage in that matchup.